Hi, I'm Jeff with Radical Honesty, and I'm on the theme of living for Christ in a messed up world. Today, we're going to talk about the topic of suffering because it's really important that we understand this because there's so much calamity that's happening in the world today. Now, the first thing I ought to talk about is that there are basically, spiritually source suffering, from God, divine, or Satan. But oftentimes believers, put too much emphasis on that. Oh, everything's an attack from Satan. Oh, I got a flat tire. Wow, Satan's attacking me. No, I'm not saying that there isn't spiritual attacks, okay, and there isn't spiritual discipline. But what I am saying is that oftentimes we put too much emphasis on that. We don't understand that we live in a fallen world and there's enough evil and calamity under heaven that we must understand and look at first. What are the various categories of suffering that is not spiritually sourced? Well, first, you could have suffering because the world needs a new creation. There's no moral cause. There's no spiritual cause. It's just that we live in a world that needs the full redemption when Jesus comes, new heavens and new earth. You live in a place, there's a volcano, there's health issues that are going around the world, there's a tidal wave. It's not a matter if you're good or bad, it's going to come around because that creation around us is defective. Second, sometimes evil is at the cause of evil calamities from an evil person, okay, or an evil system. The war that is happening in Ukraine, that's from an evil system. It has no moral source. You can't pin that one on God. So it's not that people who suffer in eastern Ukraine are because only the bad people suffer. The good people got protected. No, it doesn't matter. Everyone's going to suffer if you're there because there's a natural evil that's there. Another cause of suffering is that it could have a sort of like a personal sort of source. It involves myself. Okay. Let's, for instance, this. Sometimes this involving myself, we can delay the suffering, but it's going to catch up with us. Take, for instance, health. I try to eat well. I'm trying to lose some weight, trying to not eat, too much sugar, salt. It's not good for you. Get some exercise in. But one thing's going to catch up with me. No matter how well I eat, how much I exercise, I'm going to die, you see. No, you don't want to talk about that, but that's the inevitable. And you can't pin that on God. You can't pin that on Satan most of the time because it's going to catch up with you. You can delay the suffering. And this is really important because too often we think that God's going to make us live eternally on earth, No, it's not going to happen. You do the best you can to extend your life, but no one can go beyond what our lifespan as a human being is. There are other issues that are personal. Sometimes we suffer because we've made bad decisions. We've hung around the wrong people. The book of Proverbs talks about this, being able to, understand and not associate with bad people because bad people, kind of influence us. I grew up in New York City, and there's no way, as someone in their 60s and Asian, going to ride the New York City subway system at midnight now. No way. No way, I used to do that when I was a teenager growing up, but there's no way. If I did, I'm asking for it. You got to do things to protect yourself. Don't make unwise decisions, okay? A second reason that's personal could be because, you know what? We don't want to take action. The book of Proverbs also talks about this, about the sluggard, about the fool, he says, I can't go out the door because there's a bear there, And sometimes we suffer because we don't take action in our lives to go ahead with life, make the needed decisions, Sometimes we can be active in making the wrong ones. Sometimes we can be passive in making the right ones. Some of us are like that, too scared, and you need to ask the Lord Jesus Christ to help you. A third reason for suffering on earth is because we are not just simply make bad decisions, or that we are passive in making the right decisions. Sometimes we are part of the criminal element, okay? And then we're caught, sometimes, we might go to jail or there's a fine or penalty with us. It's on our personal record, and that's on us. You can't blame God. Now, I've only skimmed a few of the major ones, but I hope you understand this really important principle that before you keep blaming God or Satan for all the evil in this world, look upon human beings around you, at yourself. Because when you do that, you realize something very, very important, that we have a lot of the blame and the responsibility of the calamities and suffering and evil in this world. And that points to our need for Jesus Christ to begin to give us wisdom and a path to live for Him.